And Radio, what hasn't been said about Radio? He's very well known for his Min and utilizing the lockjaw.
Like one of the best Min ever, I think.
One of the best Min-Mins, especially when it comes to just general usage of the heavy arm lockjaw. Like, dude is scary with that thing. He's pummeled me down to the dust at times, even though I'm running around as Mechanica. It's like, oh ho ho ho, I'm Mechanica, I have armor, I should be safe. But no, it just doesn't work that way.
Well, for now, Radio's going to lose the lockjaw in favor of the Toaster and the Slabamander, though.
I could see the reasoning behind this. River is playing Kid Cobra, obviously, as we can see here. Kid Cobra can be a pretty difficult target to hit, especially with heavy arms. And steady tools such as the Mander and Toaster can really help out in this matchup.
Especially that Mander, considering Kid Cobra's dash game.
Oh yeah, it can cover a lot of his ground, a lot of his movement. And River going in with two really good arms as well. Basically going in as a pseudo Spring Man with the Toaster Boomerang loadout. Starting things off, River holding onto a very strong lead. Is just applying some exceptional pressure and is going to get the grab for the first KO.
Both. River's going to be sticking with what he knows, while Radio swaps out for another Toaster.
Double Toasters are a really solid pick. This is probably what Radio's probably trying to go for here, is just to consistently be able to apply a lot of pressure and to punch through a lot of River's attacks. The one thing he's got to look out for is that Boomerang, because if River just focuses on dodging those two Toasters, then he can probably find a lot of windows to get that Boomerang to work out.
The Toaster also has a much more straightforward path when going out of jump when compared to the Slabamander, so that's really going to help Radio retaliate.
Indeed, and we've already seen that with Radio being able to evade some pretty heavy stuff, and it was in the lead for a little bit, but River's just getting that corner pressure going in hot.
Just absolutely right. That grab, oh jeez.
Literally relentless right there, just... Radio just could not find his way around throughout the glove rush and just left himself vulnerable for just a little too long, giving River the first match.
You would think the Boomerang would be a bit of a hindrance considering how straightforward Radio's Toasters were, but River was pretty solid on rating Radio's movements.
Yeah, River just kept kept playing it smart, waited, kept an eye to see what Radio was really doing, and then he just kind of flowed with that movement and just responded. And did exactly what you would want to do with the Boomerang, where you just like, okay, so you're doing this, so I'm going to throw out the Boomerang this way to catch you. Oh, you're moving in this way, I'm going to utilize the Boomerang's trajectory and angles to kind of catch you this way and throw you into the corner.
Given the circumstances, I don't think the lockjaw probably would have helped in this situation, considering how fast Kid Cobra is.
Indeed. Actually, depends. If you're able to pressure your opponent in a way or set things up, you can safely find windows to get the lockjaw.
Maybe if Radio managed to get River into the corner, maybe the lockjaw would have come into play more often.
Indeed. But unfortunately, he didn't see a chance to be able to. He didn't feel like he had a chance to get that going. Alright, so we are just waiting for the stage pick from here. I'm wondering what... Oh! We got ourselves a treat! We got ourselves a delicious, scrumptious treat. we're going to be having this next match
Oh boy.
taking off in the Snake Park, both agreeing to gentlemen to this lovely stage.
It's Beyblade time.
It's a pretty exciting stage. It's got a lot of tricks and technical aspects to it. Sometimes just really difficult for a lot of people to keep up with. And we've got Kid Cobra in his domain.
Radio
looks like
making
River's
a,
also going to be... Go ahead.
River's making a drastic loadout change. Switching over to Popper and Coolerang.
And it looks like River's actually going in pretty different too, utilizing that lockjaw that we were talking about that Radio usually has. So we're little blindsided here.
Lockjaw doesn't seem like a smart pick for the snake boards in general, but both players seem to be keen to gentlemaning off the snake boards in favor of fighting down in the rink below.
This is a pretty interesting stage just on its base design. As you can see, it's got a lot of dips and curves to it, which means that it's really easy for you just to find some manner of high ground, especially since the back wall is the highest platform in the stage if you're disregarding the snake board. But there's a lot of little positions on this base floor that can allow you to adjust your elevation.
Radio's getting a lot of
advantage.
Radio's getting a lot of mileage out of the retraction time on both those arms, as the Coolerang is getting in a lot of hits.
Oh yeah, Radio's just finding those windows to poke, especially since River has two relatively slow arms. All Radio has to do is just get out of the way of them.
That shield is...
The shield's definitely helping out too. But River's starting to get some nice pressure in there, starting to recognize how they want to play this out to take advantage of this scenario.
Sees the grab and manages to get away from it point blank. 10 seconds left on the clock, though.
Radio wants to time it out, but it's not gonna work out that way. Feeling pressured, throws out the rush, and takes the first round. Those saucy grabs were not going to help River that time. Heading into this next round, it looks like River is going to swap on, or take off the lockjaw and equip a toaster.
Radio's also saying that the Popper hasn't been doing a good job of getting through River's defenses and swaps over to the nade.
Something with a little more explosive kick can definitely help out a lot.
Oh, and the fact that it's a medium weight arm, too.
The weight's definitely gonna allow Radio to be a little bit more defensive and get some safer boxes. River taking this round very strongly though. Has a massive health lead and rush ready. Radio just getting his ready as well. But there's very little case that Radio will want to even utilize that rush. River has to sit. What?
That shield is like on its last leg.
And that last leg's gonna get knocked right down. River getting that round.
Oh, the shield pressure got to him.
When you're able, those two arms are. When you're able to find a solid tempo, a solid movement pattern that allows you just to kind of fight through a lot of stuff, or when you're able to throw a solid tempo of pressure that your opponent just can't find their way through, it's really easy just to quickly chip down their health. Or just their shield in general.
Had a solid rush interaction earlier, but the Popper's weight just let River take it.
Yeah, especially since the nade was just spending its entire time trying to box down the Burchuck and Toaster. Radio is starting to.
Radio's also swapped down the Popper onto his Dragon Arm. Probably going for a more shotgun approach with the Popper, trying to outpace his punches.
Is having some luck, but still has to do 50% of River's health without getting hit once, and that's not going to be possible as River claims Radio's last breath and moves on in the brackets.
Swags back onto the snake board for the finish.
You gotta have a fancy flourish like that.
Flourish, you say?
Oh! Yes, I did say flourish. What about it? I like the word, okay? It's totally... It might be extremely coincidental, but I really like that word. So yes, I'm going to use it, even if it's a pun off of my own... Off of Flourish Gaming Esports.
I think you mean because it's a pun.
Maybe.
Uh-huh,
Hush.
sure. Alright,
we're gonna do... Our next match is going to be Yiko facing off against either Landfrog or Spicy. I'm gonna let the other rounds just kind of go about their business as they want. Leave them to their own tempo.
Meanwhile, River is going to move on in the bracket to face Gilly.
Yes, the Gilly who has made it. Hammer, just a heads up. I'm not sure if J-Ro is here. If he does respond to you, great. But if he doesn't, when around the time when we start moving into round 3, let me know.
Stylo says his Switch is still charging.
Yes, we are to note that. There we go. Alright, we should be set to keep things rolling. Once we figure out who Jiko's opponent is. Oh, we should know already. And it looks like we're going to have Jiko facing off against Landfrog. So once these two players are ready, we'll have them step into the ring. Landfrog there's a quick moment where we do need a break, so we're just gonna let them chill out, take care of that stuff.
Alright.
Florian, I love you! Heart emoji for Willow. And yeah, so Casual Cruise Landfrog will be facing off against Jiko. I've said that probably 8 times now. Probably not that many, but I could make it that many if I wanted to. Frog. Bam. Gotta represent those cool fancy tags to talk about how cool these people are and cool support that they get from cool other people that are cool. Usually.
Cool.
Yes, very cool. So let's talk about the players for a little bit here. Jiko, we know him a decent amount. He's a Lollipop that's generally pretty effective at zoning. Generally, yeah, I know him well for running around with the Tri-Blast, the Boomerang. He's got toasters that he's ran around with too. He plays around with a handful of things. And then Landfrog, I know him very well for his love of shields. And also being a Landfrog. Just to make sure that I can reach them. Oh, they were doing it there. I'm gonna force them over up to somewhere else so that I'm just there.
So yeah, I've seen Landfrog quite a bit around ARMS. I think he's one of the more long-term players in the community. I think he means Bite and Bark, but I can't be sure. Because I think it's Kid Cobra.
Landfrog, I believe to my memory, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's Ninjara. I know Landfrog likes to play with a lot of characters, so...
He does have a Ninjara badge on.
He does. Maybe well, it's the frog, because he's Landfrog.
Yeah. He's a Ninjara frog.
Yes. He's a hoppy Ninjara frogman. And hello there, Crashing. Hi, friend.
Yo.
Gaddy, it's really hot outside.
It's spring.
It's too hot out.
I'd hate to see you in summer then.
Oh, I'm usually pretty fine with it. It's just the transition. Well, the problem is I overdress because I'm still mentally used to the colder weather, so I throw on a heavy jacket, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I like to jog to work. I guess I'll jog to work. And then I'm dying of heat. And I'm like, what is wrong with everything?
Yeah, it's just the shift over. You're so used to the cold temperatures of winter.
I like when it's cold weather and then I go to somewhere warmer and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna wear the frilliest of dresses now. Oh, it's perfect. And I'm like, oh wait, it's still a little cold.
I just can't wait for summer to get here because by then the air is too hot for tornadoes to develop around here.
Ah, excellent. That would be good.
But Jigo and Landfrog are raring to go both at the same time.
And we are going to be facing off, or these two will be facing off in Mausoleum. Starting off, Jigo going to go in Boomerang and Tri-Blast with that Lollipop, and Landfrog going in with that Guardian has a Roaster in tow alongside.
Surprising choice for the Guardian for such a quick character like Ninjara.
It is quite the interesting choice, but I've seen Landfrog make it work time and time again.
It'll really help block against that Tri-Blast, and the Roaster will be able to plow it through it rather effectively. It's the Boomerang he really has to worry about here.
Oh yeah, he definitely has to be careful of that. He might be able to use that Guardian effectively just to wall out rushes, even without a rush.
Just using that Guardian to throw out a little lure to keep Jigo on guard, meanwhile just poking around with the Roaster.
Gets a really nice evade there, and just cancels out Jigo's rush entirely, and forcing him just to sit there and wait and shield. Jigo, still holding on to a light lead here, is playing very patiently as he just doesn't want to throw himself into anything too risky like a wide grab like that. I might not have brought this up, but Landfrog's also one of the coveted motion controls users in the ARMS community.
Tries to throw out a rush to plow through the Tri-Blast, but it just reaches him too soon.
And with 10 seconds left on the clock, that's probably going to be it, unless Landfrog, he's not going to be able to find anything as he gets knocked down yet again. And now Jigo just in a very, very solid place.
Goes in with a very large rush advantage.
Landfrog going to change things up, putting that Guardian away, and we're going to see a Cool Rain come out instead. Another wide grab from him.
It made a good defense, but I think he notices that the Guardian doesn't do much and actually doing damage to Jigo. Going for a more direct approach.
Yeah, definitely want to try to push in a little bit more than what he's been doing so far. And the Guardian's probably also going to struggle a lot more because of that open trampoline in the middle. If it chases into that area, while if an opponent is there, they can't shield. But if they're on the platform behind it, then it just kind of gets stopped on the trampoline and completely defeats the purpose of the Guardian. So overall, the Cool Rain's going to be a lot more effective and a safer tool to use at this point.
Landfrog's sitting comfortably on that rush, trying to pressure in enough to find a good opportunity to use it. Sees
that opportunity.
Goes in. Nice juggle. 290 damage.
And he's gonna get another wide grab off of that.
Off the trampoline.
Now, Landfrog holding onto a pretty solid lead here. Chico catching that movement, recognizing that there was very little Landfrog could do in those last few seconds.
Both players now
really nice
relatively even in terms of health. Chico hanging on by a pixel though. 10 seconds left on the clock. Chico's impatience unfortunately gets the better and manages to catch a roaster.
You're right, let me fix that. There we go. I forgot to fix the score from the previous one. I'm a professional.
Clearly.
Yes. These two also pretty professional in how they play. Landfrog bringing it back in that round and is going to start off this round with a slight rush advantage. That said, Chico is just doing a very solid job of just getting light pokes in and has brought himself into a very slight health lead.
Both of these players are playing a very similar game with their loadouts, trying to read their lateral movement and trying to find that well-placed attack. Difference is, Landfrog has the weight advantage here with the roaster.
But Chico's just finding his way around these attacks a little more effectively and is slowly bringing himself into a further and further health lead.
Weight advantage wins out and Landfrog manages to catch Chico with the roaster.
For 250 damage. That said, there's only 30 seconds left on the clock. There's not going to be time for anything.
Because there's no health left.
Chico with a tasty Tri-Blast. And in a superly duper fashion, claims the first round. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry.
I knew it.
You're getting to learn me too well. You're just gonna be able to just poke in and be like, oh, I know how to make her just completely flustered and embarrassed with a single sentence. And I'll be like, yeah, there's not much I can do here. Maybe it was a mistake to let you be my editor.
So you finally admit it.
Fuck off. Oh, God. Dang it.
Love you too.
Oh, God. Alright. So, yeah. I wonder what Landfrog... I'm pretty sure Landfrog actually will want to stick with that loadout. A lot of this is just going to be stage that's going to help him out. He's probably going to want to pick a stage that's a little more aggressive, allows him to close in that distance more.
And it looks like... Oh, no.
It looks like Landfrog picked a stage that was banned, so Chico immediately gains 30 more points and is in super advantage mode. He gains plus 50 damage to every attack he makes from here on. Oh gosh, that would be horrible. Imagine just like light arms with that. Like Torture Revolver would be so scary all of a sudden. You just get 130 off the first hit of a revolver, and then you get a 90 hit.
Well, isn't that Big Time Arms?
No, Big Time Arms actually doesn't. Well, Big Time only does that in Party Crash. If you do it in friendlies, it just makes the arms big.
Ooh, Landfrog going for Team Whammer, but unfortunately, it's just for style points. He's going in with Double Roaster.
He might bring out the Whammer at some point. We'll have to see. If he does, he'll get the coveted, what's the tag? The Cool Whammer Club? He'll join the Cool Whammer Club in my Discord. Starting things off though, Landfrog playing a very solid and patient game, is just trying to find his way in with those roasters to deal some light damage. But pressed back against the corner, he's really having a hard time just finding his way in. And it's very much...
Tries to go in for a grab, but the sneaky Tri-Blast pokes him out.
This stage is just working out a lot more in favor of Jiko, where Jiko just knows his range, where he wants to be. And Landfrog's feeling a lot of pressure and struggling to try to close in that distance at points. Low on health.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Tried to box it out. It was not going to work out, though, as he still had to wait for his arms to retract.
The boomerang just slips around that glove trajectory, brings out the Whammer, and the boomerang.
Let's go. That's a pretty interesting pick. I'm interested to see how this is going to work out for Landfrog. Starting off, both are about even. Jiko holding onto a slight lead and utilizes that shield. Landfrog is able to push himself out of the Hot Pocket with Ninjara's very delightful shield abilities.
Just trying to find a good opportunity to get past Lola's shield. If there's anything that goes in, Jiko shields and presses on forward.
Landfrog does a solid job of evading that rush and gets another boomerang poke in there.
Boomerang really working out better for him than last time.
The Whammer's also helping out here and there. I've seen it land a couple of hits. Generally, these tools just working out in a pretty solid fashion, walling out a lot of attacks and giving him a lot more room to get those pokes and punishes.
Not just the weight, but also the verticality of how the Whammer is shaped also helps keep that Tri-Blast out.
Oh yeah, it's also helping the fact that Jiko is hopping around a lot. So, and the Whammer is well designed for kind of catching those jumps. So if Landfrog can just see those opportunities, he could probably poke in for a lot of damage at points.
Both of them playing a very patient game, walling each other out, but Jiko's gonna have to make some magic happen if he wants to bring it back. And he does, manages to knock him down. Manages to knock him down that sliver of health that's necessary and takes the second round.
I saw what Landfrog was trying to do there. He was going to use the Whammer to try to parry everything down, but it just didn't work out, and he ended up taking just a hair's too much damage. A very, very exciting play. It just did not work out for him, unfortunately. And with that, that means that Jiko is going to be moving on in the brackets. Landfrog going to be knocked down into the lower ends. Still around here, folks, we might see more Landfrog seeing plays like that.
He is going to be going up against Spice. Nope, he's going to be going up against Florelia.
I hope those two have a fun time together. Make sure you give each other some very nice hugs.
Well, Jiko's going to move on to face River.
Oh, yes. And with the other two matches still going on, we're going to see if River and Jiko are willing to go. Jiko seems down to go again. So we're just going to keep this group going. And Jiko will be facing off against River for our next match. Oh, I gotta accept a friend request. I'm gonna make a new lobby.
Alright.
God, there's so many friend requests. Oh, there's a Shetty one, there's a Frozen. Okay, I have to accept all three of these. It's probably going to get to the point where I have, like, a full list of friends and I'm going to have to do some kind of purge again. It's the problem with running these kinds of events is... Is match 8 going to be streamed? No. Here, I'll just make a new lobby. I think we're still waiting to see if J-Ro made it back yet. Let's see if I can... Oh yeah, no, those two are going right now, so... I called it. I said, I was like, at the start, Gilly and J-Ro are going to make it in time for their matches. I'll check them in for them. And guess what? They made it. Just how pro I am.
Hamma's going to be moving on from facing J-Ro and will either end up facing Stylo or Era.
We'll have to see in just a moment. We'll likely find out after this match. But yeah, that's probably going to be a pretty exciting match. Some matches in the lower brackets are ready, so anybody who's on that end, you are all welcome to get going. Start your partying, start your matching.
I would hope they don't start Imagine a Party lobby, jeez.
I mean, you can. This might not work out as well in a lot of cases,
but... the will of RNGesus.
Yeah. It works well for some people. Alright, and things are all set, raring to go.
You're going to Mausoleum?
Chico facing off against River in the Mazo of Liam. Why do I say it like that? I don't know. And it looks like Chico's got Nade equipped right now, alongside a Hydra and Cool Rain. A little more exciting of a loadout beyond his conventional tools.
But River is going to go in with the day one Kid Cobra strat of double large gloves.
Day one, but it's still going on to this day for a reason. This is a scary loadout to face off against. Kid Cobra not only has one of the largest girth sizes in this game, Double Bub is just exceptionally safe. And the movement that Kid Cobra exhibits allows him just to wall out and shut down so many players.
If this doesn't teach you how to deal with glove arms, nothing will.
Oh yeah. Cool Rain, definitely a really solid pick for Chico here, and we're seeing he's getting a couple of nice pokes in because of that choice.
This wall of bubs really getting to Chico.
Oh, that punish!
Sneaky ass grab.
Just straight up yeeting him right. Oh god, I just used to yeet. Just yeeting him right out of that rush. He's like, nope.
I'm so proud of you.
I see exactly where you're going.
I'm so proud of you, Merv. You've come over to the yeet side.
No!
Yes!
I need to resist the beams! Yeah, I want you and Stylo to wait, Hammer. I enjoy my crotchety old ways of not seeing some... Actually, well, a lot of the memes are pretty solid and alright.
Damn kids and your memes.
They're so good. I love them. I just get too flustered trying to make them work sometimes.
Anyway, River is going to surprisingly swap out one of those bubs for a bird check, rather.
Which is also another really effective tool on Kid Cobra and just allows him to cover a lot of ground. It kind of fits into the bub playstyle as well, where you can just get a very consistent pressure and movement with it. While it doesn't recover as quickly, it does balance that out with ice damage and a much more powerful rush, potentially having Shield Breaker.
And chucks are just really good for parrying down arms.
Jiko seems to be enjoying it a little bit, though, as he's holding on to a very light health lead and is going to successfully catch that read.
Both players have a sliver of health. One hit will just about do it.
And it's going to be River getting that hit as Jiko wanted to hold on to that rush for a future round. Unfortunately, not having that chance.
Do Stylo and Hammer
I've already
wait?
answered in the middle of the match. I said, please wait.
Okay.
Also, I have now tasted the use of yeet in commentary, and I yearn to use it again. I've tasted it.
Good.
Gaddy, what have you done to me? I mean, I don't... Realistically, I shouldn't see any problem with it, literally, because of the fact that I use things like hot slap and roasty toasty. It's like, oh, okay, I'll just add it to my...
You know, good and evil is only a matter of perspective, you know? I can think of yeet as a force for good, and everyone else is just gonna have to deal with it.
And no, it's a Mumford slam, because it's Master Mummy and he's doing a slam. It lines up perfectly. The Mumford slam, because he's a slamming you. Heading into our next match.
Doink and doink with the Mumford slam.
What?
You know what I said.
What?
You know what I said.
No!
Yes. Both players going in relatively as they started out. The difference is they're on a much smaller stage.
Which is definitely going to benefit... Oh, I wonder who... I'm guessing Jiko's Yeah, Jiko chose the stage, so... Jiko's definitely looking to utilize it just to kind of make sure River doesn't have as much free reign on all this terrain to move around freely. And it's working out pretty well so far as Jiko is holding on to a solid health lead, looking for only a single more hit.
Playing it more patiently with the shields and manages to take the first round.
Definitely, it really worked out for him. And it's going to entice River to bring out the double bub.
Jiko actually playing it pretty conservatively with the charged arms, throwing River off.
Like, he started with 3 very solid hits there. And that's going to put Jiko in a very advantaged space. Has yet to be hit. And has taken away half of River's health. Just continuing to apply some safe pressure. Moving around pretty safely. Trying to just find windows to get in without getting too caught up in what River is throwing out. And he's slowly making it work more and more for him, and is only looking for a little bit more damage. If he can bait River into throwing something a little too risque out, he could actually get a really solid rush punish too, and potentially get a KO. River 1 hit away now from being KO'd, and it's going to be the cooler aim. Jiko bringing the score to 1-1.
The boundaries of the sparring ring really making him feel more claustrophobic. Can find many opportunities to dodge and throw out the bub.
And just some of those reads.
Yeah.
Like, Jiko was on point with that first 15, 20 seconds.
There were like 3 direct uncharged nades and 1 coolerang I saw.
I think the start was like 2 uncharged nades followed by a charged nade, and each one was just like a hit, a hit, a hit.
Heading back to Mazo though.
This probably will help out River a lot more, especially considering how it went the last time with so much space. But Jiko might have a better feeling on what he wants to do in this matchup after such such successful results.
We have a bit of a run back with Burchuk being brought out again.
Oh, that's a call. I left it on because that's spam. I have it on because I'm gonna have a friend text me who's gonna be picking me up like immediately after the tournament to hang out, so I just want to keep my eye open on that and I don't want to miss out on her.
I was just waiting for the Turbo Trainers to start playing again.
You shut it. You shut it. My ringtone would never be something like that. It's gonna be much cuter, like...
Well, I can shut up, but it won't make the shame go away.
I have no shame in my terrible mistakes. I will accept them, and I will move on. I will grow from my mistakes, and I will accept them for the things that they were that happened.
Yoink and then doink.
That's a screwdriver kick. You gotta get cooler names for these.
It's a screwdriver style doink.
Scroinkin... Sloink? I don't know, I don't like this. I don't like where this is going. And I definitely would say Chico isn't liking how this is going either. Gonna get KO'd by River as they're able just to zone Chico out in such an effective manner.
Cobra is the hop and pop. How far can we take this?
I mean, we've already gone too far, but...
But let's keep going and see what happens.
Maybe not. Chico coming... This round could likely determine who of these two will be facing off again in the winners finals.
These players are constantly parrying down each other's arms left and right.
Just focusing on a lot of pretty safe boxing and just movement. Like, look at the movement of these two players as they're just weaving between these strikes. Chico gonna see a nice opportunity to go in for that rush. Misses out on the finishing touch though. That's a lot of damage I ends up missing out on because of that. But still a pretty solid rush.
Both players trying to play Zenitto speed chess here, trying to find even the slightest break in their movements. Nice slide in from River.
Yeah, River got a really good read there and started to get some pressure, but quickly backed out. And Chico's gonna take advantage of that and is just slowly zoning him out for the remainder of this match.
That's something I don't see a lot of Kid Cobras do, using his slide to go under punches.
River finds a nice opportunity to go in for the grab, and now it's likely going to be just the pressure of a rush off happening.
Manages to psych Chico out and throw out the rush impulsively, guaranteeing him a safe way to time out.
And allows Chico, or River, to move on to the winners finals. Chico was just not ready for that. Heading into our next match, we're going to have two of SDL's communities, people who exist in the SDL area who have done local things there and play ARMS. We've got Hama and Stylo.
Oh boy.
The old Hamlo. I'm not gonna. I'm not. I'm just gonna disown that one. I know Hama's been exploring a lot more diversity in his character choices. I do believe that Stylo will be sticking with Lillipop, though. That dude really makes it work. And if I'm not mistaken, I do recall that Stylo has been picking up Brass to some degree. Inspired by the wondrous arts of those, like, Steelhead. Alright, Hama gonna be the first one in. All set up. It looks like they've already agreed to a stage, which is going to be Temple Grounds.
This could go pretty well in favor of Brass if Stylo chooses to go Brass.
Ah, it could be, potentially. Alright, yeah, I see what lobby they're in.
Temple Grounds does have a slight elevation to it, which Brass can take advantage of.
He definitely can, but that also gives a lot of other... Temple Grounds has a lot of room to give other characters in general just ways to work around his pressure.
It can also just give even more elevation to Lola, since Lola's can be very aerial.
Indeed. I'd probably suspect that he's going to go with Lola for this. And we'll have to see what Hama brings out, but I'm guessing potentially a Springman. As I do know he's been playing with that recently. There's a surprisingly small number of Springman that are around in the scene these days.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they used to be very prominent all over the place. But just with recent things being the way that they are, and players like Resolve taking a step back, yeah, like, you rarely see them anymore. And any that you do see are usually more often focus more on Max Brass, with a few rare players such as Gillyboat playing Springtron. You did great, love. I'm proud of you, Willow. Thanks for joining.
Dr. Coil's master plan has finally come to fruition. Springtron is finally replacing Springman.
Basically. And all the other Springs are either not really playing or they play Max Brass mostly. With Defer being like one of the few exceptions that come to mind, where, in which case he just transitions between the two on a case-by-case basis. Not a base-by-base cases. There he is. Yeah, Coil planned this out, and this is our future.
Going in with a Lola Ditto.
We're going to be starting this off with a Lola Mirror matchup. Hama going in with Toaster Funchuck Triblast. And Stylo going in with his ever-classic Nade Megawatt. And something that I forgot, but I know it's there. Starting things off, Hama going to be in a bit of a disadvantaged state. Stylo getting a bit of damage in with that Megawatt and some solid pressure. Utilizing that heavy weight to just wall out so many of Hama's attacks.
As expected of a very defensive character, both players are dealing very minor damage back and forth, with the Megawatts slightly being in favor for Stylo.
Just constantly walling out so many of his attacks. With Stylo having Rush Ready, though, I'm expecting that he's probably going to try to start closing in that gap, and we're seeing that a little bit as he's starting to chase Hama down to try to put himself in a position where he can utilize that rush, or force Hama to use the rush that he can just cancel straight out with his own.
Stylo nearly had a chance to go in, but unfortunately Hama manages to slip out.
Stylo does get one parting blow as he moves back after disarming Hama, and now is holding on to a light lead. Hama likely wanting to try to close in the distance to throw out a rush of his own, safely deflecting that Megawatt before it could actually make contact, and allows him to even up the pools.
10 seconds left on the clock, both players sitting at relatively even HP, with Stylo having a slight advantage.
And Stylo gets 2 more hits in, and is going to take the first round.
That nade is also putting in the work for Stylo with the additional explosion pressure.
Yeah, that thing is just scary. It does very scary things. The 2 in tow are like a very scary combo.
But the
And if
fun
Stylo just gets any confirmed like that one, like this is so much damage off of these two.
manages to get the restand.
And 395 damage to go start with.
That fun chuck does have great retraction time, so it also helps Hammer balance out. It's out in combating that nade.
It definitely gives him a little bit more room to work with. But then he's got to be careful of that Mega Wise. It can just wall through so many of his attacks.
Stylo's sitting on a rush.
Hammer just about ready with a rush of his own and
that
gets the
saucy
grab,
grab.
catching that balance.
Tries to cover another
And
one.
that is going to be a confirm though. Stylo landing 185 damage off that rush and taking the first round. Alright. I'm gonna guess that Hammer will likely want to change his character out for this, but it was a fairly close matchup, with Stylo just holding out slightly on lead for the majority of it.
Yeah, the Megawatt really helped turn it in Stylo's favor.
Oh yeah, just the couple of he didn't get too many, but that little moments like that final stun
I mean, heavy
really
arms.
gave him a good opportunity.
I mean, heavy arms in general aren't usually meant to be like for direct hits. They're walls.
They wall so well, just that big scary thing.
This is why I love like Megaton on Megaton, Kablammer, and like Megawatt on Mummy. They really go well with his arm girth and help wall out any opposition.
Walling out in this game is so satisfying to do, but it also I feel for the people who are getting walled out, because it's like there's so many cases where you just feel hopeless as you see this giant ball coming at you. You're like, I can't punch it away enough. It's coming and I can't run.
This is why I played default Mummy for the longest time in the early days of ARMS.
And so how I got good with the Whammer was just learning how to make people feel like that.
Megaton is very underrated.
Well, it's actually getting a decent amount of respect these days, with a few pretty prominent players utilizing it.
I see most players defaulting to stuff like the Lockjaw or the Megawatt, though.
Oh, yeah. Generally, those two are the more favorite of arms to work with.
Still sticking with the Ditto, we're going to Buster Beach.
And Hammer gonna swap out one of his arms for the T-Bird. Wait, or something. Probably? Yeah. Yeah, Hammer did. Okay.
Thunderbird really going to help get around them Megawatts.
It definitely can, but Lolipop's one of the more effective characters at working around the Thunderbird. Just with some of her super dashes and general movement, it can be a little tricky to catch a mobile Lola.
Arm teetering on being broken and in the hot pocket. Hammer's in a pretty bad spot here, but manages to get out with a quick stun from the Thunderbird.
Effectively just getting a couple of nice pressure punishes.
Stylo is already in the red.
Sees one more opportunity as Stylo throws out those arms, and Hammer just dashes right out of the way of both of them. And now Hammer just looking for one more hit. Stylo tries to respond with the rush, but is not able to get it to connect. Hammer now just looking for any solid hit to get the KO.
And a sneaky Thunderbird manages to get by.
And that bird flips right on by. Stylo going to respond by bringing out the Coolerang to try to counter this curve with a bit of curve of his own, recognizing that His weighty arm just wasn't doing as good of a job at walling out Hama's attacks. Both players very close to each other on health. Stylo quickly building up another rush. And is going to just barely try to get out of that.
Unfortunately,
ends up taking...
Unfortunately, couldn't get the Thunderbird to connect.
Now Stylo is getting that pressure on, starts getting some decent damage on, gets another freeze, and evades the grab attempt, allowing him to deal another 150 off of that grab. A solid 265 on rush, and Stylo is in a much more advantaged state than he was before. That Cooler Rain really helping out in this round.
Hama's in the red and slowly gets out of the hot pocket, manages to... But unfortunately, it doesn't matter. Clean hit from the nade. Briefly considers the fun chuck for a minute, but goes in with the Thunderbird anyway.
Just looking to utilize the Thunder... Maybe trying to come in with the Thunderbird at a different approach that can help him out a little bit more. Starting off this next round, though, Stylo holding on to a bit of advantage, and then Hama ends up losing his grab as he throws out the rush quickly in response and allows Stylo to safely block it. Does get a nice slip from underneath with the Thunderbird's wide range. Just the Thunderbird's curving angles allows it to reach in from a lot of different positions. A lot of people aren't really ready for it half the time. It's gonna reach right in there.
With that grab and gets out of the hot pocket.
Hama slowly building up rush, will likely have his ready in just a few moments. But he's gonna get caught out by a heavy 310 damage rush on top of a juggle. And now Hama is one hit away from getting knocked out.
This nade is really doing a hamper on Hama's movement options, able to catch that super dash with a lack of homing.
Oh yeah, cover. It has so much good curve. If Hama was just a little bit closer, I'm pretty sure Stylo would have just had a nade connect too.
10 seconds left on the clock. Hama really needs to... Unfortunately could not cover enough distance to close it out as Stylo lands in far with that nade.
Stylo just zones out those last few moments. Hama diving right into it and allows Stylo to move on to the winners finals. Impeccable plays from both.
And we'll move on to FaZe River.
Fun fact, none of you might realize this, but this is River's third time on stream. It's almost like River's really good at this game, and I also happen to want to stream them first.
No.
So they're just in all of the stream matches. Just like every single match is a River match from here on out. Alright, let's set up this. Do that. This one is going to be that. Oh, and we want to do... Stylo did not just 2-0 Stylo. Not this time, at least. Nade is fast on forward charge. Nade actually has a... Well, it's relatively slow. It's still a strong, steady enough speed that it can kind of just catch a lot of people off guard.
And to think it used to be faster.
Oh, gods. Yeah.
And with that curve.
Yeah, it used to be even scarier than it is now. Still very scary. With the Nawu, we are going to move over to our next match, where Stylo will be facing off against River in the sparring ring. That was terrible, I'm sorry.
Stylo going in with the nade and the Glusher.
Glusher, a pretty solid pick here, especially after what we've seen of River so far. Really favoring the boxing down and using a lot of just short hops and general movement. The Glusher's really good at countering those.
It also has a little bit of a bounce to it, helping catch those Cobra jumps.
Indeed. The trick to it, though, is you're going to have to be able to position it in a way to catch a Kid Cobra. And that's not always the easiest of tasks. As we're seeing, River is just dancing around that Glusher and is holding on to a sizable lead. Gets that grab. And tries to close things out with another grab, but Stylo is not going to have that and ends up getting knocked down by a bird chuck instead.
What always surprises me about River is his solid fundamentals.
He has really solid fundamentals, and I feel like he plays Kid Cobra a lot more differently than a lot of the KCs that we tend to see, where it's just a lot more smaller finesse movements. He has really solid boxing play for a Kid Cobra. Generally, they're not as good at boxing down and just kind of going at it with their opponents.
As opposed to some other players like JM Canada, who really takes advantage of Cobra's jumps.
Yeah. Or Kid Cobra, or Cold Stare, who utilizes a lot, generally has a larger mix of Kid Cobra's movements and is able to slip between things. River, a very scary Kid Cobra, and is going to take the first game. Just a reminder for everybody that the winners finals are a best of 5. So there's lots of time for Stylo to be able to pick up on a lot of what River is doing and try to come up with a new counter strategy to respond. You're out? You did great, Gilly. I'm proud of you.
Good job, Gilly.
And it does appear that we're just going to go straight into sparring ring once more. Stylo coming in with the Megawatt.
Might not be as effective against someone like Kid Cobra, since Kid Cobra has more movement speed, but we'll see.
The movement's a lot more steadier and easier to control compared to the Glusher, though, and I'm guessing that's likely what Stylo is going to want to rely on during these matches.
Jumps over the Megawatt, showing some great boxing in the process.
Hama, you can have that match happen.
Uses Rush as a good get-off-me tool and gets some good shield pressure to boot.
Does end up giving Stylo Rush, but Stylo's still in a very weakened position. His arm's going to be able to heal up, though, and is going to continue on with this pressure. Going to be able to connect, too, and lands that finishing touch, now in a much stronger position. Almost gets the Megawatt to connect, but that Coolerate, or that Burchuck, just reaching out from beyond his sights. Stylo gonna get one more catch, though, and is able to take the round.
Just as a reminder, since I'm not in the chat doing it, if you see something hype you really like, don't be afraid to clip it.
Clips help this channel, clips help you, clips help me. I've said before, I'll say it again, clips make the world go round. Let's get more clips. River starting off with a pretty strong rush, but is gonna get walled out by that Megawatt. And that thing working out a lot more in favor for Stylo than that Glusher was just the last match.
Somehow manages to slip in during the rush past the nade as it was punching.
There's actually a lot of very small windows during flurry attacks like that. Usually you need the second arm to kind of work alongside that flurry to make sure that those openings don't happen. But otherwise, those opening windows happen here and there, and there's a lot of cases where I've seen people just do some strong punishes.
But the one thing no one has been able to replicate is the one in Helix's character trailer.
I don't recall seeing it.
Because, like, Helix does a little shimmy around Springman's Toaster Rush.
Oh, wow.
And no one has... And I don't think anyone's been able to replicate that yet.
If you send me a clip of that later, I want to look at it.
It should be in Helix. It should be on, like, Nintendo's YouTube. I can go find the video.
Okay, cool. We'll worry about that later anyway, so. As Stylo is going to go in with a Chakraman nade for this match to cover a little bit more of River's horizontal movement.
I'm not entirely sure about the Chakram, given how many nerfs it's received to its extension speed.
Yeah. That said, it still has a lot of capabilities and is really good, especially when you have Rush ready. And Stylo did start out with a very strong Rush, but now is in a very tight position as he only has enough. He does not have any health left to take any more damage. But he's going to be able to gain a bit of Rush off of that shield block and now has a very safe option.
Oh! Grazes against the nade with the grab and Stylo is knocked out. That is just that hurts.
That is a very painful thing. But that's also one of the risks of explosive arms like nades. Like, it bites so hard.
It hurts the worst with the Seiki, arguably, because then you're potentially set up for a free 150 damage from a grab.
Yeah, oh god, yeah. Where it's like, they go for the grab, they miss it, you get stunned, and it's like, oh hey, another opportunity just to go for an even safer grab.
Yeah, even though grabs are treated differently from punches, I think it still counts as an arm hitbox extending out, so it can still interact like that.
It's still an offensive thing, so it does damage in that regard. That said, I can understand a lot of concern with grabs being able to do arm damage, but pretty much everything in this game well, anything that's considered an attack, I would say, should technically do arms damage, and that's what happens sometimes. I mean, it beats it beats having the alternative, which would be that the game recognizes that you got arm damage, which technically means that you connected with your opponent, which means that you get the grab. In a lot of those cases, that would probably be way worse.
I'm beginning to see a pattern here with these stages. Mazo, sparring, Buster, Mazo, sparring, Buster, Mazo, sparring, Buster.
These smaller, tight-knit stages are generally... A lot of players in this group, at least, are really in the mood for them just because... Just like Final Destination Smash Brothers, it kind of lets you just go like, alright, we're just in this and we're just going to dive straight in for it. There's not as many fancy tricks with things such as pillars or too much elevation.
All these players having relatively similar loadouts, but the nade does have a disadvantage on the retraction speed.
The nade really good for that shield pressure though, but Stylo trying to go in for a punish but is not able to get it to work out. River breaking through that freeze and is going to get a grab in response after breaking out to take the first round and is now one more win away from moving on to grand finals.
Stylo's gonna swap out the Coolerang, I think it was, for double nades. Rivers goes on to equip the Birdchuck.
River getting a couple very strong reads here. Lands a couple of nice grabs and is holding on to a light lead. Lands another successful grab, just keeping up with Stylo's movement.
Can we get
just
5?
recognizing that Stylo could have got grabbed again there.
Nearly had 5, but managed to go in for a rush and close out the second round.
Recognizing that Stylo was just caught in a pattern of dashing to set up, he just optimized his movement and plays to take advantage of that, and was able to take Stylo down 3-0, and will be set to move on to the grand finals. There's the fancy trick that for the second half of the map, it's shaped like a donut. Yes.
Well, Stylo will go on to face the winner of match 19.
And
that could be anyone.
I was planning on the next one being losers or lower round 4. We do actually have Jico and Radio just got set up and ready to go, so we're gonna hook these two in, and we're gonna have them be streamed next.
All right.
And that means 1, 2, 3, and Jico was in first, so we'll set that up. Ah ha! There was a joke that was made. It was a good joke. I'm not telling you what the joke is.
What is it, too steamy for the stream?
No.
Oh,
hey, it's still TCM versus Riptide. Nice. Alright, so both players are going to be doing some stage striking. So we've seen these two play before, not against each other, but this definitely is going to be a pretty exciting match going on right here. I'm looking forward to see more of what Radio's got in his compartment. I don't know, what are things you could talk about that are in Radios? In his battery holster? In his antenna, in his speaker? Wait, no. I'm looking forward to seeing what Radio does.
Just stop.
You know? That's why I just did that one. Just kind of throw out the arm, just be like, you know what? We're just doing that. It'll be fun to see how these two players interact with each other. I could see some of Radio's aggressive plays working out for him. We need a stage to be picked.
Looks like it's going to be Buster Beach.
There. And I'll say we're good to Tig to confirm that I am on it. Alright, so we are all set, and it's going to be the Beach of Busting to begin our first match.
I just realized why it's called Buster Beach. Holy shit.
Why?
Because Bite and Bark are cops. They bust crimes.
Oh god. Oh god, it's another pun. Why? Oh! Yashi! Yashi, thank you for the follow, love!
Yo. They're crime busters, that's why. Oh, jeez.
Alright, and we're gonna start... Radio... He's got a retorture going on! I want to see that thing in play. Bring it out. Yes!
I love seeing the retorture on the dragon arm, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, as he has a bob on the left.
I think the retorture, just as the non-dragon arm, is a lot better of a pick here. The bub will just be so effective on a dragon arm. Starting things off. Both players kind of going back and forth, trying to feel their way out in this match, find their way in, try to see what the other player's really doing to try to take advantage of it. Chico just focused on making sure that he's got pressure on Radio so he cannot get that dragon arm.
Oh, that's an unfortunate rush timing.
Gets that rush canceled out. Now Chico holding on to a solid health lead. Radio gonna take a lot of shield chip damage, but not enough to break, as he was able to effectively evade that first strike from that rush.
Chico playing a pretty zony game here, but is still managing to apply lots of pressure on Radio.
Really taking advantage of the Tri-Blast and Coolerang just working in tangent, as the Tri-Blast just covers so much ground and forces Radio to kind of move one way or the other. And it just allows him to have the Coolerang kind of complement his movement.
Tries to go into a rush, but manages to push him down into the Hot Pocket.
Radio, though, now low, not high enough on health to survive a charged Tri-Blast, and is going to get blasted down.
Makes a change of pace, putting the retorture on the left and bringing out a boomerang on the right.
Radio trying to implement his own style, kind of similar to what Chico's got going on, but with a couple of different tools. The two can actually play very similarly. It's just the retorture's gonna leave him a little bit more vulnerable a lot more often. Starting off this round, Chico, again, just holding a really solid amount of space, and is just slowly punching down everything that Radio's throwing at him, or evading it and just getting these really nice punishes.
Manages to get that dragon arm, and lost it.
Chico just capitalizing on all of these opportunities, and is just now looking for a little bit more damage to take Radio down.
Ooh!
Chico, weaving right between all three shots of the Tri-Blast, is going to just continue keeping that pressure going. Has yet to land a KO, but is so very close. Radio slowly starting to bring this back, gets another hit with the boomerang, and is now just looking for a little bit more damage. Going to throw out the rush, that's not going to be enough, and Chico going to take the first round. Alright, Chico going to take that first round, is looking for one more to be able to make it into the lower round 4. Just looking for how the other sides are going. Looks like they're still in their matches. Excellent. What's that noise? What's that pumping? It's just like a...
What? Oh, that's just me clicking shit.
Oh. Oh, okay, yeah, no, now it sounds like clicking.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something on Discord because I was pinged for something earlier, but I can't remember where I got pinged.
Oh,
I'm in too
no.
many servers, damn it.
You and me both. I feel you that on that hard. How many do you have? I've got like 40?
I don't remember. Let me see.
Hang on, let me count. We're gonna go to Scrapyard. I'll count
4,
in just a moment. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
I'm gonna have to zoom out for this because Discord does not have a proper scroll option for this, and that makes me very annoyed.
I've got 43 Discord servers that I'm a part of.
25.
Alright, so we're all set, and we are going to have these two facing off in the Scrapyard.
31.
Nice!
Good.
That's... I wonder how many of those were in the same Discord server in. Probably not that many, actually.
I don't think it's that many.
Yeah.
Radio going in with the lockjaw on his badge.
The patented radio lockjaw, because he patented it. And Radio also is going to be going in with a nade in tow, so a very explosive loadout here.
Found it.
Yay.
I was pinged because apparently the next Shantae game has been announced.
Ooh, really?
Yes, I'm gonna have to watch that later.
Send me a link to that too. I might want to see that.
I'll do that after the bracket's finished.
Yeah. Radio applying a lot of very effective shield pressure. Jiko gonna get knocked down by that rush though, and allows Jiko to safely get away relatively unscathed from what otherwise would have been an excruciatingly painful rush.
Lockjaw really helping Radio's approach this time around. The size and the weight really helping block out that Tri-Blast and the Coolerang to an extent. Nice grab from the bottom level.
Just a solid catch there. And that allows Radio to stay in this match now with the Dragon Arm Lockjaw in tow. But he's gonna lose it as he gets caught by that Coolerang freeze.
That Coolerang went long. Radio needs to do something in the next 5 seconds. I don't think he can. Nope.
Yeah, he's not gonna have the chance as Jiko's just on top of things and is going to take that round. If Jiko didn't, if Radio was able to land that rush before,
maybe
Jiko
he could have brought it back.
fall onto the ground. No, Jiko would have been down by then. But because of that weird little juggle, because of the Scrapyard's elevation, Jiko was able to take the round. Just another interesting thing about some of these stages that just make you really look into what makes a stage a stage.
Either that or it fills players with salt.
Oh yeah, usually it's that.
Nice.
Jiko with a really nice plays there, canceling out Radio's rush and landing a solid one of his own. Radio gonna land one more successful blow, and that is Jiko is going to land the blow, and allows him to move on to face off against his next opponent.
Refresh the bracket here. Which, I don't have yet. We are still waiting on Jico and Radio to finish up, as well as Hammer and Landfrog.
Jico and Radio just finished up.
Oh, okay.
That was what we streamed. That's literally what we just streamed.
It's late.
I feel you on that. It's all good, love. You're gonna tease me. I'm gonna tease you. That's how this dynamic works. And to answer anybody who does have the question, can love bloom on the battlefield? Yes, it can. The answer is yes. Jico, I need you back in here, love. Jico, sweetie. I need you back in here. Please return. Murph, miss you.
Okay, clearly we have to do a summoning ritual or something.
No, Jico wants snack. Just as long as he doesn't... Just as long as he doesn't disappear for like 10 minutes randomly after saying like, oh, just heads up, I'm gonna go grab a snack.
But you don't spell bracket with snack.
As long as he's not making like an emergency, I've got to go shopping, I'll be back in 5 for Coca-Cola.
And you take like an hour.
Oh god. I can't even imagine what that would be like.
You say you're going to be back in 5 minutes, but really you're not.
It's like, but you're in a tournament right now and your match is up, and they're like, nah, I gotta grab this Coke, I'll be right back. 3 hours later, alright, I'm back from my match.
It's over.
I got disqualified like 3 years ago. They're like, what?
Welcome back. Bracket's over.
Rip bracket. Alright, and it looks... Jico is back, excellent.
Imagine having your bracket prediction being debunked because someone decided to yeet out of there.
They're just like, oh, hang on, I gotta go order a pizza! And then you just never hear from them again. Alright, it looks like our next opponent, the next matchup is going to be Jico facing off against Ham.
Ham-a-lam-a-lam-a-lam.
Yeah, that one. And we're gonna have, we're gonna have Hammer facing off again. Potentially, we have 4 people, or 3 people in the top 4 who play Lollipop. And I hear some people say Lollipop is low tier. I mean, granted, this is a more casual event, but at the same time, smells like maybe a little bit of a problem when top 4 is 3 Lollipops and a Kid Cobra.
I always knew the clown uprising would happen one day. They want to be the dominant species on the planet, and they'll destroy us all to make it happen.
It's almost like that time that, what was it, Hyro Saga was like 3 Mechanicas in top 8. Like, that's the only time I've seen something this amazing.
I don't think I saw the Hyrule Saga VODs.
They're all up pretty much. I think I've got a few of them linked on my YouTube channel now. I just recently looked into fixing it up. Here, we'll fix up the name of this bracket. There we go. That's more fitting. Wait, what stage are we going to?
Mazo.
Oh, right. I already set it up, so...
Shocker.
I did a read on myself and was like, I'm going to forget in a moment, so we're going to set it up before I forget. And then I forgot. I'm like, aha! I gotcha!
Both going in with a toaster, but Hama is going to come in with Parabola and Funchuck.
And while both coming in with the toaster, neither one choosing to utilize it, as Jiko's going to go in with Tri-Blast Coolerang to start with.
Parabola might be slow, but I think it's actually pretty good at parrying arms, and it will also help cover that Tri-Blast.
Yeah, the Parabola is going to be a pretty useful tool here. The trick, though, is if Jiko stays on the move, there's a lot of cases where the Parabola just really struggles at keeping up. So far, though, it's working out very well for Hama as he's holding onto a light lead.
Those players just trying to find those little openings around each other's arms. Jiko managed to slide back into a health lead, putting Hama into the red.
But Hama going to find a nice opportunity to dive in for that grab. And if Hama's able to get a solid stun off the Parabola or Funchuck, he's not going to have that chance.
Slips in with an uncharged Tri-Blast and takes the first round.
Starting off this round, Jiko sticking with that loadout, Hama sticking with his. It's actually working really well just with the cup. I could definitely see this loadout that Hama's utilizing working out a lot more in his favor if he's able just to figure out how to pair these two arms together in a way to just wall Jiko out. But right now, Jiko just doing a really solid job of finding his way around these two. And is just getting some really solid punishes and pokes.
Both of these players are playing a really patient game right here. Jiko has the Tri-Blast and Coolerang, which covers a lot of ground, but Hama's set is pretty defensive and able to wall that out.
Both players landing heavy rushes here and are now both in very critical positions. Jiko looking for 2-3 more hits to take Hama down or a potential grab. Hama just looking for a stun grab combo to take Jiko down. Now just a single Parabola is going to be enough. And brings the score to 1-1. Both players continue to stick with their loadouts. A lot of what's going on here is just minute adjustments in movement and play. Both have some pretty good tools that are working really well in this match. It's just finding how to make it work out. Jiko just slipping between all of these cracks, just continuing to throw out Tri-Blast after Tri-Blast after Coolerang, and he's just slowly chipping away at Hama's health. Neither player going in for the rush, just neither one. Hama likely waiting to try to trump Jiko's, and Jiko just not wanting to throw his rush away or make too risky of a play that can easily get punished.
That Funchuck is getting some really good clips in on Jiko.
Oh yeah, Hama's starting to get a couple of strong blows in, and is now holding on to a light lead. That rush not going to fully connect. The Tri-Blast just a little too spread out in its shots. And now with 20 seconds left on the clock, there's very little chance that Jiko is going to be able to charge up enough rush to bring this back. Needs to get a couple of strong hits to take Hama down.
Jiko tries to go in for a shield break, and it still manages to catch Jiko on the landing, and it looks like Hama will be closing out this set.
taking the lead with the first game. Parabola has a lot of interesting mechanics in how it kind of travels and sneaks around. There are a lot of characters, there's a lot of players that it can just walk away from it and not have any problems. But if utilized correctly, it's a pretty effective tool in a lot of matchups. I wonder what what Jiko's gonna change up in response to this. Maybe coming up with a new stat, or maybe trying out a couple of different tools. Triblast can work pretty effectively still, he just has to find his way around it. And we are going to be heading into our next match in the Temple Grounds. I love that there's so many Lillipops in the top 4. It's always entertaining, but exciting to see these kinds of things. Especially when they're not like Dr. Coils or Max Brasses. Characters like Lillipop are surprisingly more popular to pick than some of the top tier characters like those two. You also played lovely, wonderfully. You did great. Hot emoji.
We're heading over to Temple Grounds for the second game.
Willow, you should do the Malieve command. You'd like it. And yeah, we're heading over to Temple Grounds. Both players gonna quickly don on some gloves. Immediate turnaround from that previous one. Those pillars gonna make it a little bit more, give both players a little bit more space to safely move around.
Jiko has
a little more room.
Jiko has a slight advantage here with the Coolerang being able to go around the Temple Grounds pillars.
But Hama also has that Fun Chuck, which is effective at parrying curve arms, especially primarily if it's approaching from the way that the Fun Chuck is equipped. And it can allow Hama just to safely swat down so many of Jiko's attacks. Jiko gonna be the first to utilize Rush and connects for 345 damage. Cementing himself a pretty solid lead. Hama though gonna quickly take advantage of now having a rush and Jiko lacking one, and is going to close in the distance and connects with his own for 285 damage.
Treasure Zen knowing that the shield is a little bit weak.
Jiko gets caught one more time with one hit, and now Hama, I believe, is just barely in the lead. If Jiko gets this rush to connect, he's not going to be able to do that. Deals a lot of shield chip damage, and with the last few seconds, one final hit is not going to be enough, as Hama still has about 10 health ahead of him.
That could have been very bad. But Hama managed to keep it cool and takes the first game. First round, rather.
That Fun Chuck just doing such a solid job of handling those curved arms. The nade also being a little bit slower allows Hama to just properly see these two arms coming in, and he's able to more effectively just kind of punch them down.
Just slip away from the Coolerang and gets a cool 3-3-35.
And from this angle, we can see a little more effectively a lot of what Hama's doing with that Fun Chuck, where he's just focused on trying to catch a lot of the attacks that Jiko's throwing out and just punching them down, swatting them down, just utilizing the Fun Chuck's defensive abilities to basically just remove everything that Jiko has. and just give Hamma so many free windows to go in for punishes. You've got to be careful with slower arms against a Funchuck, because the Funchuck can have a very easy time just swatting everything down. Jiko starting to find a little bit of tempo, has an opportunity to bring this back. 23 seconds left on the clock. Hamma still holding on to a very slight health lead though.
Goes in knowing the shield's weak.
And that's going to be more than enough for Hamma to take this second round. And we'll move on to face off against Stylo in the lower finals. Or, sorry, Alola finals.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Well, that's why they're called the Alola finals, because I'm not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So we will just fix up this scoreboard now. Perfect. And this is now. There, we should be all set up for this next round. Hammock making a comeback, bringing himself from the lower ends to face off against Stylo. Yes, that is my text. I like it, okay? That was the person I was talking about replying to me because I said I need a little bit more time because, I mean, I was I kind of wanted to, I have plans to hang out after this tournament. This tournament's going quite a while though. I don't have a problem with that. But at the same time, it's like, oh, well, the hangout's gonna be a little bit later. But yes, I love my text ringtone. It's very cute. I put a lot of effort into making sure that was isolated and properly set up.
I couldn't exactly hear it. It sounded like Mechanica.
Oh no, it wasn't Mechanica.
Oh.
Does anybody want to take a guess what that text ringtone was? If anybody does, if anybody gets it, if anybody guesses correctly, I'll give you a free subscribe. Someone texted me, haha, suck it, nerd. None of you have my phone number. I'm too isolated from your foolish community. That time you couldn't hear it because I was talking over it, but it happened again.
Leave TMA your number.
No, it's my phone number.
Aaron
I
just
know
wants
what you're
to say
trying to do.
hi.
Aaron wants my phone number so she can get a free sub. You can message me on Discord. It's okay, we're good.
Stylo's going to go in with that Megawatt, trying to get a little bit of a wall away from that Funchuck.
Megawatt's a really good pick to counter things like the Funchuck, as it just walls things out so hard.
Manages to catch Stylo off of the bounce and gets a clean rush. Well, some witchcraft.
Witchcraft is the lifeblood of the online competitive scene. And Hama going to be able to find his way around the Megawatt, utilizing the default Lola color power advantage to take the first round.
Hama decides to respond to the Megawatt with the Coolering, though. It's a nice
a self-explosion ends up blowing Stylo up and allowing Hama to get a grab in exchange. What almost looked like a stun up for Stylo just ends up reflecting itself back
goes
into his face.
along with that grab off of the freeze game.
And is going to dive straight in for that rush and takes the first match.
Welcome back, River. Hama just whooped Stylo's ass for the first time. No, he just has to whoop it, what? One more
Two more times.
Okay.
It's a best of 5. So heading into the next match, we are going to be dancing in Via Dolce.
This is truly the Lola finals now. Okay, now every stage after this has to be Via Dolce. Oh, god damn it, Stylo!
There it is! There it is!
You ruined it, Stylo! Why?
I was expecting a brass to come out at some point.
You ruined the Cloud Uprising!
See, who would have guessed that the Cloud was secretly a buff man in disguise?
I mean, circuses have strong men too.
Yes, but he was a clown. He was dressed up as a clown, and then his rippling muscles burst the clown costume, and it turned out he was a big buff guy.
He just rips off it like a latex suit out of Looney Tunes Back in Action.
I want a gif of that. It's gonna look horrible, but I want a gif of that. Starting off this round, Hama holding on to a slight lead here is effectively disarming Stylo time and time again, catches him one more time with the toaster, and gets a quick chain, taking advantage of that self-explosion, taking Stylo down and zoning him out.
Stylo's deciding to slip on the Megawatt, hoping to save himself against the Funchuck and the toaster.
Gonna throw out that rush, but it's only going to be safely blocked by Hama. Stylo gonna try to find his way in, but ends up getting parried out by that Funchuck and the rush being thrown out by Hama. And allows Hama to hold on to a pretty sizable lead here.
River, this is a best of 5.
This is a best of 3,000 now. And Stylo just really struggling to get his aim on Hama, as Hama's doing a very solid impression, just of a lot of evasive players.
Stylo's just trying to dogpile on Hama, but unfortunately does not manage to keep it consistent.
Hama's just effectively keeping his calm, seeing where Stylo is throwing out his attacks, dodging between them, and it's just getting a lot of strong pot shots.
Hama just needs one more game to take the set and move on to grand finals.
And we're going to be what might potentially be the last round, unless Stylo is able to start find. He might be able to find his way around. He might have a new strategy, a new plan that he can get to work. But there's a possibility that Hama might be able to take Stylo down here and head off to face off against River in the grand finals.
Stylo puts back on his clown disguise, swapping out Megawatt for the Glusher.
His clown disguise. And both players this time going to be wearing matching outfits. A fashion crime, but still very fashionable nonetheless. Stylo, you trying to utilize the Glusher similarly to the Megawop, but just covering a little bit more of that vertical range, giving him some
the nice
very nice shots.
Glusher. That's so satisfying to see.
The Glusher has such amazing angles and just movement. It's really fun to see that thing used well. And this time, Stylo holding onto a much stronger in a much stronger position, holding onto a sizable health lead. But it's slowly going to get pushed into the corner by Hama, and now Hama looking to try to apply some pressure. Oh, but he's going to get flushed right down.
The most Matrix as hell dodge, delivering a swift Glusher blow.
I'm gonna have to just directly jump to the other side. I'm not doing panoramic views when I don't know which side is which. It's so much harder to keep track of this stuff. Okay, I think I've got it down, so I might be able to do it a little more prettily next time. Also, this rush is one of those really heavy ones where even if you block a decent chunk of that damage, like just breaking shield, you get so much off of the finishing touch of both the Glusher and the nade that you can more than make up for it just after all those chips. Stylo gonna get frozen, ends up getting caught out by the grab, and now both players are vulnerable to a potential rush KO, or just a KO from a lot of hit things out there.
Hama's playing a pretty patient game, getting some good reads off of Stylo.
And sees that moment. Oh. Stylo gonna box him right out, though!
The weight
with an impeccable rush!
The weight from the Glusher just pushes on through.
A very excellently executed rush there allows Stylo to keep himself keeps himself in the game and allows himself to potentially start bringing it back against Hama. I need it to be 7:30. There. Let's see. I'm just gonna check up on the rules quickly to make sure that everything is going on right. Like dispute, region logging, separate procedure. Winning player strikes 2 stages. Losing player picks a stage.
I heard it, that's Splatoon.
Shut it. Don't spoil it! Now I have to sub somebody, because somebody's getting, but what specifically from Splatoon? I said you have to be specific.
I'm pretty sure that's that.
Don't spoil it! You're already... Wait, are you subbed? You're not subbed.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Technically, you could be the first one then. So go
because
ahead.
I'm pretty sure that's off the hook.
Ha ha ha! No.
All right.
It does appear that you're a little too new school for this lass. Oh, I'm out of tea. And it looks like we are going to be going to Buster Beach for this next match. Yes, Willow, congratulations! It is the Squid Sisters. You get it here. You can have me.
And by me, we mean a free subscription. Hama decides to bring out the Spring Man at long last. Going in with
There
about
you go, love.
2/3 of the default Springman loadout.
Why is it the dancing dinosaur shark? I fixed that.
What?
Why is it a dancing shark? I fixed that.
What?
Oh, it's just, they don't have it for the gift subs yet. Dang it. I'll have to fix that next time. You can it, Gaddy! At least have the sound!
You know very well I will not let this go.
No, you won't! You're not gonna let any of this go!
And apparently neither will Era.
Love to shark this. Irma's in the lead!
Serious face. Stylo is down in the hot pocket, and Hannah is in angry mode.
I can't even. Hammer throws out the rush, and it's gonna connect.
God damn it!
Spaghetti Sharky. Oh no! What is this? There's a ping. Oh no! Oh no!
This is a professional stream.
No, there's more! Oh no, I'm actually getting a headache. Oh no.
Oh god.
This has to stop.
Stylo,
No, this has to stop.
Stylo's at half health, but does manage to get a shield break. Unfortunately, it's not going to deal a lot of damage off the rush, about 80.
Oh, my head hurts.
Unfortunately, the explosion off of the nade ruins that rush from Hamma, but Stylo is now down into the red, so it really doesn't matter.
If Hamma's able to get a stun grab combo or a couple of quick hits, Era, please! I'm clicking away from there. Actually, Stylo has a rush that can KO.
I really need to stop being so curious about what you're doing, Era. Focus.
Stylo now in a lot stronger of a position is just looking for one more hit to be able to take this, and he needs to, otherwise Hamma's going to be moving on in the brackets to face off, and he's going to be able to successfully connect.
Hamma's setting on a full rush while Stylo nearly has his.
Starting things off, Stylo is going to get a handful of very solid catches and puts himself in a solid lead, just 50% health advantage. Era, I will die.
Hamma knocked down to the red, slowly getting poisoned, but is trying to bring it back.
Gonna safely block that. Does take a bit of chip damage, but at the point he is, the only reason why that would be scary is a potential shield break.
Slowly advancing forward. Stylo down in the hot pocket helps. Manages to land a clean rush. 320 sending Stylo into the red.
And now is just looking for a single more hits on his, and is going to connect.
Managed to make the full Springman comeback with a well-placed toaster. And I believe that is Hamma's victory.
That is Hamma taking this match 3-1, and will be facing off against Stylo. It's just... Also, I'm just gonna say I'm surprised nobody made a clip of that. It was the power of left shark. Yes. Yes. Alright. I'm not used to this body. Anyways. So, moving on. We will be having our grand finals of... Why would you ping me in there? Again, I'm trying... I just got a headache.
I regret absolutely nothing.
I'm not clicking it.
I know you won't. It's not gonna stop me.
Alright.
Anyway. Anyway, grand finals is now going to be River versus Ham.
Now the question is Hammer going to flow out a river of pain, or is River going to go ham on Hammer? Tune in right away to find out.
Don't blame me for this. This was Era's idea.
Oh no. Oh god, I know exactly what you're fucking gonna do, you shit! Don't do it! I will set you on fire! I know exactly. I need to fix this. I can't fix. Maybe I can. Hang on. I've got to fix this now.
River will be with you in a minute. This is important.
Hang on. Okay. Variations. Gifts. Ah. Hang on. It's this one. Submit. Bam! Save variation. Suck it, nerd. It's not happening. Not today. No more left sharks. There are 2 pings now. Alright, so we're gonna be... Grand finals will be Hammer facing off against...
Left shark sad.
And you know what? I can't even get it back, so even if I feel slightly guilty... Wait, can I?
I still don't even know what you did.
So basically, to explain what that was, I've just recently started setting up the stream elements overlays. And I've been slowly moving things over to be on that. The default for all of the alerts on stream elements is that shark. And so that shark popped up because I hadn't set something up for when a gift happens. So you gift a sub and the shark happens. Or just make a clip of the last moment. It's too late, Era. It's now just going to be that basic thing. It's going to be the thing I like that's not left shark. Oh, why is there a dabbing shark in my chat?
You didn't notice that one?
I didn't look at the pings yet, I told you. I don't think I can make that an emote because I don't have the Prime. Also, apologies to anybody looking for an intense and exciting commentary during a spectacular match by Hama and River. We've gotten extremely sidetracked. And I'm just going to be honest with it. We're extremely sidetracked, and there's a very good chance we're not going to be able to effectively get back on track with this. We'll try our best, but a lot of it is probably just going to be talking about that dancing shark now. God's that shark. A shark is best shark. It's amazing! Oh no, why would you do this to me? I'm trying to run a tournament. I mean, technically I did this to me, so... These two are doing a really solid job on this match, though. Hama effectively using that fun chuck just to kind of parry a lot of hits, finding those opportunities to slip in, and is going to take the lead, or this round, bringing this match to 1-1. Oh, this is just the... Oh, I thought you were talking about the GIF. This is terrible. This match is great.
This is the
This
best
match
thing
is
ever.
great.
Pretty much just the battle of the chucks right now.
Chucks are really good, and we've got toasters in tow alongside this.
One has a wider pattern on the ground, but seeing as Kid Cobra can be very jumpy, I don't think we're really going to be seeing that much of that.
Oh, speaking of jumps. And that's going to allow River to take the first round. Oh yeah, I should probably set up the fact that Hama is on the lower end. And River is on the higher end. Let's see, where are the two going? Let's stay, just like the good old days. Okay, you can stay. You know, we might as well just get Era in here and then we'll just talk about left shark.
God. Hama decides to swap the toaster onto the right hand and switches out for a parabola. This has pretty much just become the left shark tournament. Era wants to do it. She wants to talk about left shark.
Your name change is terrible!
What have you fucking done? What have I fucking done?
What have I forgot to done and as a result has become this? I'm just sitting here brooding now. Not really actually brooding.
Left shark is the best shark.
Yes.
Left shark.
So thank you for adding
No,
in.
it's okay. It's okay, Willow. Willow, no, don't worry. This is like, I mean, for some viewers, for some people, this might not be the most entertaining thing, but at the same time,
Well, this is really our fault at this point.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry,
At the same
guys.
time, no, let me finish. This is the Scrapstar series. These are my events, and if I feel like something is worth doing, or is worth keeping my interest on, I mean, okay, let's talk about the Scrapstar series a little bit during this tournament. It's going to go into commentary, or it's going to go into, like, random off-discussion mode for a moment here. What the Scrapstar series is about is getting awareness of the various scenes, getting awareness of a lot of players around the world, and allowing them to have events where they can kind of show off their skills and talents in an environment where they can also learn about a lot of the etiquette for competitive gaming. That includes learning stage striking, handling the stresses of a competitive match, so on and so forth. Learning the intricacies of taunting and how to utilize or manage being taunted upon. Those kinds of things, you know? Useful things that can help somebody out in the future tournament. It's also meant to be like an environment that's encouraging and welcoming and fun. Sometimes being encouraging, welcoming, and fun means that things get off the rails a little bit. That's okay. Sometimes, because we're people, and people do silly things sometimes, and we get distracted. Like, it's very natural for somebody just to get caught up in something like a left shark happening, and now all of a sudden that's all that we can think about, because that was so random and hilarious.
Are you implying left shark isn't fun?
No, I'm using him as an example of how things can kind of go.
I love how River and Hammer. They just resort to just chucking each other in the face at point blank.
I mean, it's a little more complicated than just dancing back and forth and spamming fun chucks, okay?
I mean,
Call it what it is.
it'd be fitting if they played Teenage Dream by Katy Perry right now.
Nothing that's gonna mute the VOD, please. Or get a copyright claim.
Okay, but I'm just saying, in honor for Left Shark, that's the song that was playing.
Yeah.
I remember 2015 so well. It's horrible. That was my favorite Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
We thought this wasn't a Malieve era commentating stream, but surprise, it's me, Dio.
Surprise, it's me, Gadio.
Gadio! While sometimes it means that we can't have the best commentating synergy sometimes, or all the time, because sometimes we get too derailed by, hey, Malieve said a funny thing, and now I'm going to make sure she doesn't forget it ever.
I reject my commentating talent in favor of...
Oh god, no, I did! Gilly recommended a co-commentator. Look where we are now! Fuck!
I'm here now! Where's my floating Drake at?
No.
Wrong series. Got it.
This isn't the Mega Boot League Monday.
I know.
And River gonna take the tournament with a 3-0 against Hammer.
Wait, that was game 3.
That was...
Oh.
Wait,
that is set.
The power of Left Shark made him move by those games so fast.
But yeah, so... A lot of what this tournament is meant to be, it's meant to be a welcoming, encouraging place for people to grow and experience a lot of the stresses that can happen in a tournament setting. Sometimes we get off the rail like this, but it also... I'd like to feel like it helps kind of encourage that little bit of a welcoming aura where it's like, Malieve got really off the rails and is getting really excited about or embarrassed about a really silly thing. Just to kind of remind people that it's like, this is a good place for people to learn how to commentate, this is a good place for people to learn how to compete, but this is also we don't have any sponsors right now. I'm still just a small channel. I still care about a lot of people here. I still love you all. I like interacting with you, even if it's about something that's like, oh gods, why did this happen? Now I've got a dancing shark on my screen.
Before I forget.
Oh no.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
I was thinking about that.
Yes!
Someone had to do it.
Left shark
bot
is
in
a
your-
spirit animal, baby.
The bot in your server is pinging me for swears, sent me a lot of pings. Yeah, Hammer, you're not supposed to swear in my server. You might notice that there have been a couple of swears that have happened in this stream. But you might have noticed they usually don't happen. It's hard to not. There are better things to use. Like, you could call somebody a spoony bard. You could call them a balloon. Let's have some fun with their insults. What now? What have you done?
What do you think?
Oh god.
It's not the hero we need, but the one we deserve.
Oh gods!
I'm so sorry. No, don't get Hammer in. Hammer was
This is
never
the
in.
real hero of the stream.
Nah. We're gonna keep it at 3 right now. I don't
Yay!
feel like adding more. I appreciate the offer, Hammer, but here, why don't you I'm sure you all want to see this.
I'm so glad you put that as a quote.
Where is it?
It's my spirit animal, guys.
There you go. Right there.
I am left shark.
I hope you enjoy it.
Yes, that's amazing.
A Coco commentator. We don't need chocolate commentators.
What?
So I'm gonna. He said Coco.
Oh, jeez.
Like Coco Puffs.
Oh.
Alright, so we're gonna do one more thing before I end the stream here. This one is a little bit meant to be kind of.
I don't think
little
Hammond knows
more-
what left shark is.
I'm gonna explain it to him later, don't worry.
Educate him.
I'll educate him on who I am.
This is gonna be a little bit more of a professional thing. I'm gonna make a quick announcement here. We've got a new video that just came out on my Twitch channel. Compliments to Gaddy Shack here for making the video, or fixing up, or editing the video so that it could be of pleasant content that all can enjoy. It is none other than the tier list that I made some time ago for which fighter should I pick first, an ARMS newcomer tier list. If you haven't seen that video yet, there is a link in chat. Be sure to click that. Check it out. I'm gonna make a ping about it in Discord, and everybody can look at the video. I personally think I did a good job with this tier list. Should look at it, see what my thoughts are on all the new characters. With that said, Gaddy.
Yeah.
No, we're not plugging in Riptide because technically it was me and Gaddy commentating, and I plugged my co-commentator. Gaddy, you do a couple of cool things on the internet. If people thought you were pretty neat and interesting, where can they find you here?
If you'd like to follow me on Twitter for stuff for dumb retweets and whatever, you can find me on Twitter at GaddyShack, and I also have a Twitch page where I do mostly impromptu streams, and you can find me on twitch.tv/ well, you know.
Yeah. And of course, you can find me at flow_Malieve on Twitter. I do have the Planet Scrapstar YouTube as well as this Twitch channel. And I've also got my Discord community that if you want to be a part of it, click the links in the Discord that pop up here and there. You find them all over the place. But yeah, with all of that said and done, thank you all for watching. Hashtag sorry not sorry about the last 20 minutes of the stream.
Hashtag all hail left shark.
Blip shark.
Chalas!